David Moore, Dallas Morning News. Before we get to the significance of the win and the San Francisco game, what were you doing in the locker room last night?
What was I doing? I was doing what I always do, celebrate a victory.
That's how you celebrate?
Well, yeah. Glad you enjoyed it, David. It was just a teaser, so that's, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I was kind of stuck in between a break dance and the gritty, so I just had there weren't so many damn cameras in there. I need a little more room, so.
Nothing holding you back now?
Yeah. I'm on to San Francisco.
Can you talk a little bit about the significance of the win yesterday, and in some, as you're building something as you're doing here, do some wins play more of a role because of what has gone before?
Absolutely. I mean, there's nothing like playoff wins. There's so much more that comes out of it. I mean, just obviously to win to advance and to be here game planning for the divisional round, that's part of it. But just the experience, that you gain in those types of games. The intensity. There's so much that comes out of winning in the playoffs. Absolutely.
All right, so for the Telegram, can you just give us a quick injury update? What do you know about Curse and his situation?
Yeah, J.K. is he has the knee injury. We won't do a whole lot tomorrow just because of coming off the Monday night game. So we'll be in a walkthrough phase. He may be able to participate in that. So that's the early projection. Jason Peters, I don't see him practicing tomorrow, and I think is going to be fine. He'll practice. Those are the three injuries coming out of the game.
Is it okay?
Yeah.
Mike, Todd Archer with ESPN. How quickly did you look at last year's playoff game against that, or is that even something you look at?
I actually watched last year's playoff game actually over the weekend, but I primarily just started watching the Seattle game and just going back through the breakdown games, Vegas and so forth. So yeah, I think we have the information we needed from last year.
With what Purdy's been able to do, how remarkable is a last pick of the draft to be able to do what he's been able to do?
Yeah, I think it's great example of it. It's not where you start. It's where you finish in this, and he's off to a great start. Super productive. Love his instinct. Like the way he plays the game. So he's added it's a lot of playmaking to the quarterback position for him.
Did you guys meet with him at the combine?
Did not. No. Were you going to be criticized for that, or?
No. I didn't know if he was on the.
I personally did. Yeah, I'm sure our coaches did. And, yeah.
John Michelle, The Athletic. Where are you at with the kicking situation? Do you guys plan on bringing anybody else in, or are you just?
No. I mean, as far as today, I don't have anything to report on that. I mean, I think the biggest thing is, just to make sure, we got a good plan with Brett moving forward. Just make sure he's ready. He was up here earlier in the day meeting with John and Stu. So yeah, but we're going to forge ahead, and so that's as of right now, that's the plan.
Calvin Watkins, Dallas Morning News. Were you aware that you guys are down to your last K-ball?
No, I wasn't. It's great to walk in here and learn something finally. But yeah, no, that's I did not know that. So no one told me, which is very irritating right now, because I like to know what's going on with them K-balls.
When you look back on what happened to Brett, was it just a bad night at the office, or something else?
I mean, it's just like anything. There's always more to the story, and I think it's just like anything. You have to look at the facts and stay on top of it. But at the end of the day, we all have a job to do. He knows he has to put the ball through the uprights, and he's been super productive and consistent for us. And it's just like anything. We all work with each other every day, and that's what I believe in, and believe in him and his path. And I just think like anything, I think so much in this business, especially this game, you learn more from your experiences where it doesn't go the way you like, as opposed to the success of it. So just look at our whole football team. We came out of Washington and got punched in the jaw, and I think we clearly responded, and I think he definitely has that in him.
Skyler Dixon with BAP. You backed him after the game, you're backing him now, but on 4th and 4, you picked going for it over a 36-yard field goal. Was that just situational, or was that a little bit what was going on?
Well, I apologize. I thought it was 4th and 3, so it was in our realm. So no, we had a good play call. Obviously, we converted it. So no, we were just playing the game to be aggressive in that spot.
Mike Drury upstanding Yahoo Sports. I believe Xavier Rhodes had 24 snaps last night. How did you feel he played, and how did you feel about your secondary rotation?
I mean, I obviously feel very good about everybody, but I really don't have grades or specifics for you. Like I said, we literally, as soon as we got on the buses, the iPads were open and we were on to the 49ers. I mean, I think it's all understood coming out of a Monday night game. So, as coaches, the coaches worked Sunday and Monday, on the 49ers because that was the one team we had the least amount of information. So then obviously, once we won the game and everybody it was important for us to turn the page.
Mike, last week, Mike has said that playoffs are a time where legends are made. You define your story. What do you think of what he was able to do last night?
I mean, I thought he played with incredible intensity. I mean, he was, I mean, it was constant pressure, particularly when he had the one-on-ones. So, I thought he played at a real high level. I mean, you felt him all night. So I thought he played well.
Mike, Jonah Javad, WFAA. With it being San Francisco and just how last year's game ended, does that add any extra juice or motivation for your guys? Do you think they're a little bit more amped up because of that?
Well, I think we're all excited about it, no question. I think, when the season ends the way it did and I think that's natural. I mean, that's all part of the competitive spirit in our game. But I think just like anything, I mean, where we want to go, these are the games you have to win, and these are the teams you have to beat, and that's that's really what we're focused on. I think as we go through the process, I mean, literally just left the run game meeting to come here, and I think we're all going through the cut-ups, and and that game will be part of the cut-ups. So yeah, that'll resonate with our guys, but and I think that's all natural.
Mike, Kevin Gray, 105 through the Fan. The quarterback-coach relationship is always unique. Can you speak to your relationship with Dak, and what did you see from him during the week of preparation that allowed him to go out and perform the way that he did?
Dak is super, super consistent. I mean, he really is. I mean, he's I think it's one of his best traits, clearly. When he comes to work every day, he's here early, leaves late, does a lot of the extra after hours. So, to be honest with you, it isn't like he stayed an hour later. I mean, he's super consistent. When we get into the practice environment, things aren't right. He wants to do it again. So, I mean, that's all normal. But, as a whole, I would say our football team was I won't say engaged. We just had a lot cleaner practice, and that's normal in playoffs week. But as far as him personally, his preparation is usually top notch.
Clarence LeBeau, Star Telegram. Jerry talked about his game being like an impetus for something.
Who did?
Jerry just talked about how this can be an impetus, and your game more just about a win, the confidence, and everything else. Do you buy into that this could be more than just what it was, just because of the confidence you get by getting this win?
Well, I mean, confidence is such a huge part of our game, and it's you definitely have to have it to be successful. So, but it is one win. It guarantees us 4 more quarters to advance, and that's I think our perspective on how we approach each and every game has been pretty damn good. And the regular season's over. I mean, that's why when you walk through that door into the postseason, the intensity and the focus definitely is heightened. So yeah, I think that clearly the confidence that we had going into the game, we felt really good about the plan, our matchups, and everything going down there, and we converted it. So. Mission accomplished. Now this is a different mission. Obviously every game's different, and but yeah, definitely we got a lot of confidence coming out of this last game.
You lost Peters in that game. I don't know if you'll have him Sunday, but once again you got to juggle the line.
Mm-hmm.
How you guys have been able to do that this season?
Well, I mean, we have a lot of experience at it. I mean, it's been like that all 3 years. I think, when you look back and, we've talked about this in here a number of times, why were we rotating the way we were? And it was just, frankly, just paying attention to the way it's, the way it's gone. I mean, we haven't been able to line up with the same five, but I think our prep for that has positioned us well for these circumstances. So I think it's just really paying attention to how things have gone in the last 2 years.
Michael Gelfman, Dallas Morning News. Did Tyron seem to have like another week under his belt there at right tackle in terms of increased comfort? Did you see that he was moving?
Oh yeah, without doubt, you could feel it at the end of the week. I thought he had his best practice on Saturday. Even going down through the fundamentals. I think things were, the fits were better, the footwork. So I mean, it's just like anything. When you switch from the left side to right side, there is an adjustment. But I thought he clearly played his best game at right tackle.
Mike, you've talked a lot about handling success over the years. I know it's one game and y'all aren't done with what you want, but how much do you talk to players about that today, and what's the message in terms of the balance?
Don't have time for it really this week. I'm not concerned about it. I mean, this game's going to be on us so fast. I mean, our whole preparation is really totally flipped. Last week it seemed like forever. It seemed like we hadn't played in 2 weeks, in which I really was thankful for in hindsight, because it gave us an opportunity to watch all the 5 other preseason games, and there was a lot to see in those games. We've been talking about the end of the game situations. We have committed a tremendous amount of time and energy into it, and I think our players have done an exceptional job there. So, and then to watch 4 of the 5 games that were played before us, they came down to the last series or last play, and then to see the intensity. I thought the intensity of the playoff games jumped up. It jumped out on TV to me, so that was a great reminder. And I thought our players, were in tune with that, and because I thought we had great intensity throughout the game last night. So, but this is different. I mean, we're on a 6th day. It's everybody was here today, getting their workout in, and going through the training room and doing the extra self-care things that are needed, and we'll be back at it tomorrow.
We asked you about the Cowboys-Niners playoff rivalry last year. You're pretty well in touch with that history. Now you go out there, different stadium than those 90s championship games, but what kind of feel will you get on the rivalry part of this when you go out there and play them?
Well, I think anybody that was around in the 90s, I always remember a story. I thought it was interesting too. I didn't know any better, but Marty Schottenheimer dressed the football team one particular year, 93, 94. I don't remember exactly when, but he talked about the league, and he talked about how the league was structured. He goes, you got 2 teams in Dallas and San Francisco. They're clearly, because of their rosters, and they're elite right now. And then there's another group of about 10 to 12 teams. And he goes, and we're in that group. He goes, and he talked about there was another group below that was going up or down, and then there was a group of 3 or 4 teams that were going to be. That's who they were. So, and that's how it was. I mean, you knew that the winner of that playoff game, whether it was in the championship game or the divisional game, was the team that was coming out of the NFC. So yeah, I mean, I think we were all in tune with those teams. Those 90s teams were great teams for both San Francisco and Dallas.
Mike, this is 4 straight weeks where your team is having to travel. You study the science behind anything. Do you do anything different this week? Do you keep the same schedule, or how you go about it?
Well, I mean, the benefit for us, really, if you look at our regular season schedule, I don't know if there's a schedule that we haven't worked on. We've been on 8-day weeks, 6-day weeks, 7-day weeks, Thursday night football, Sunday night football, Monday night football, so Saturday afternoon football. So, I mean, I think all those experiences have served us well. Rest and recovery is built into every single week that we line up and play. I mean, I think our strength staff and our training staff, I think they're exceptional as far as, having their fingers on the pulse of where guys are, where their bodies are at. So that's something that I take a lot of pride in, spend a lot of time on as far as making sure they're getting ready to go. So that's part of your training environment. It's part of your planning. And, we'll have a good plan for our guys to make sure they're ready to go in San Francisco.
On football with Leighton, what kind of impact did he make on his return last night?
What did you think?
Looked pretty good.
you sound like my father. You ask questions you already know the answers to. I mean, yeah, I thought he played great. It was great having him back. We have 9, 10 tackles, so, got his hands on a number of balls. Yeah, I thought he played exceptionally well.
When you guys drafted Tyler Smith, the vision was for him, he said, to be a left side player. Him, his ability to start at left guard, slide out to left tackle, seemed very seamless. What do you think was elemental in terms of getting to this point, and what do you think of how he handled it?
Well, I think number one, I think what he's done is remarkable. I mean, I go back through the years. I don't know that I've ever seen a rookie. I mean, the only rookie that I recall, is Will Shields. He started in 1993. He played at Tampa. I think he got in the second quarter, third quarter, as a rookie, and then started the rest of the year. And then I think he started the next 16 years in a row after that. But that's the only young lineman that I recall that played right away and played at a very high level. So, and I think what makes Tyler seem more special, he's done it at 2 positions. And just love what he brings to the table. Super consistent. Another young man that has, high work ethic. He's up every morning, 7 a.m. at Jeff Blasco's office. So, just once again, he's off to a really good start. He's built a heck of a foundation to build off of, and I think he's had a tremendous rookie season.
You've mentioned how part of your job is to support your staff too and to help them grow as coaches. With the Broncos scheduling an interview with Dan this week, how do you balance that with such a short preparation week? And do you expect him to be in the building with y'all until you leave to San Francisco?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think just like, I'm not going to get into specifics of anybody's other opportunities, but, the good thing for us is, we have some experience with both Dan and Kellen going through it last year. So, Dan's the ultimate professional, and he will not jeopardize anything, to do with the preparation of this game. I think that goes without being said. But yeah, we'll handle all these things the right way.
You spent a year as a play caller in San Francisco. What do you remember? It was a tough year. I think you're Alex Smith, your quarterback. And what do you remember most about that?
5 quarterbacks, yeah.
What do you remember most about that time there?
Injuries and quarterback rotation. No, it was, I tell you what, great organization. Enjoyed it. I think the York family are top notch. Like you said, it was a short time that I was there. I may have been the only guy that ever worked there that never made it to downtown San Francisco because I never left Santa Clara. But yeah, just a cool place. I think it's remarkable. I was blown away the first time I went to the new stadium. I couldn't believe that they fit it where they fit it. I didn't think there was enough room. But just a great atmosphere, and looking forward to going back.
Mike, it's obviously hard to win in the playoffs, but for those who are on the outside looking in, what's the most difficult part about leading a team through these stages as you try to win a championship?
Most difficult part? I think the biggest thing, I don't know if it's the most difficult, but I think just the biggest thing is just staying true to who you are. I mean, you got to play your game. This is not a time to change. I think this is an adjustment and emphasize mindset. And at the end of the day, you got to be comfortable that these games are going to come down to 1 or 2 big plays, and you can't win in this league without big plays. You just look at this wild card weekend. I mean, gosh, the games that were won and the big plays in the game. Just sitting there watching Baltimore and Cincinnati. You got one play that was a 14-play swing, and so that's playoff football. But I think not only it's not the challenge, it's just the mindset that you got to embrace that, and that's the beauty of winning playoff games. Is that's the kind of game you're going to play in.
John.
Some Cowboys fans are a bit distressed that you guys are coming off a short week here versus
Distressed?
Distressed.
Oh, distressed.
Not
Okay.
stressed. Well, maybe both. But
I'm stressed. I was wondering why they were stressed. But
but it being a shorter week for you guys, at least compared to the Niners, who are getting 2 extra days of rest, is there anything you say to your team? Is the team even thinking about that at all? Is that even a consideration?
I think it's going to serve us well. We'll have less sleep and we'll be grumpy, so we'll be fine. So no, I mean it's the schedule. I mean it's TV is king. I mean what are you going to say? I mean this is part of the challenge, and it's not concerned. We got plenty of time to get ready, so we're not stressed about it at all.
The defense had its hands on a number of passes last night. I was just curious, what do you think that's a reflection of when a defense is getting its hand on that often?
Oh, I mean, I think it's a reflection of just, our defense was really dialed in. We knew we had to be tight in coverage, to get those opportunities, and I thought we did it throughout the game. So, yeah, I think the anticipation and recognition of what they were trying to do, particularly, in the second half, they had some production in a no huddle, but we were keeping a lid on it for the most part, and then just squeezing those inside vertical routes. But yeah, I thought our defense set the tone really. I mean, they came out in that first series, and really after we went to 3-and-out, but I thought they set the tone and it did a great job.
How important is it to tackle well this week with McCaffrey and Debo?
I'm sorry, say it again.
How important is it to tackle well, continue what you've done and tackle well with McCaffrey?
I think tackling battle all the way through both sides is going to be real important. But yeah, these guys are, yards after contact, and their numbers speak for themselves. They do a tremendous job. Running football to first and second down offense is exceptional. And they got playmakers at every position that those guys break tackles. So we're going to have to break tackles also. And their defense is excellent at tackling. So I think the tackling battle will be one of the premium focal points for us.
Last one with Michael.
Over recent weeks, including last night, Zeke's efficiency has been down.
Who's efficient?
Can you put your finger on anything as it pertains to what's kind of been corollary there?
No, I wouldn't say. I mean, I think just like anything, you get into a flow of a game. We don't have Zeke runs and we don't have Tony runs. So, I think and there's a reason for that, and it's a good reason. So, we're not getting into specifics of that, but yeah, the most important, part of our run game is the productivity. It's the efficiency really, in my view, comes in the attempts. And we got to make sure we continue to give those guys opportunities.
All righty, thank you, Mike.
Thank you.